The KDKA Sports Desk is brought to you by Xfinity.
All right, welcome back. Xfinity Sports Desk. Tonight we're going to feature on a team that's doing really well locally, and we're talking about the Pitt volleyball team. The ladies were outstanding tonight. This is Dan Fisher, two-time ACC Coach of the Year. He's built quite a program at Pitt, and they were actually against the number 10 ranked team, and that would be Oregon. But Pitt took it to them early. They won the first set. It was 1-1 at halftime. Got some great production there at the net. And Pitt goes on and wins this one in 4 sets. More highlights coming your way tonight at 11 o'clock on KDKA, but they're off to a 7-0 start. Oregon's really good. They have Randy Johnson's daughter who plays for that team, and she's a really good player, but Pitt has a lot of great players themselves. And the final tonight was in 4 sets. They win over Oregon 3-1. So Pitt is 7-0, and congrats to them. And, Paul, we don't often talk about them. They got a lot of attention last year, deservedly so, and I think it's good to see teams like that we don't often talk about who capture the imagination. The Fitzgerald Fieldhouse has big crowds every time they play.
Yeah, and they should, because it's a really good team, right? I mean, they're a lot of fun to watch, boy. They win a lot of big games. You know, last year was kind of disappointing. They lost early in the NCAA tournament, but with all of the stuff that's going on in this city in terms of sports teams, we haven't had a ton of success a lot of different places. It's nice to see that team's
team's doing well, and you know they won back-to-back ACC championships. They also gone to the NCAA tournament now 3 years in a row. The other team doing well is the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They have gone now 22 matches in a row without losing at home. You should get a chance to go out and see them play on a nice night in Pittsburgh. 2-hour game on the north side, or on the Station Square side, I should say, at Highmark Stadium. It's a good opportunity. In the meantime, we're talking about Steelers. We're also talking about Penn State and Pitt, and I want to get your take on this, because I think it's a crime that these rivalries, these regional rivalries, are disappearing, all because of money, power, because people can't get along, they can't make deals, whatever the case. I always looked at all of it as a lame excuse, like that you really don't want to. To me, there's a way to do it. It just seems like nobody can get together and make it happen. Why should this be the last time we see Pitt and Penn State?
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense that they're not going to play every year, but I've always thought it makes no sense that they're not in the same conference as West Virginia anymore, and they don't play them every year. So college athletics, I think, has been ruined forever because of all the realignment and the greed and the money and all the other stuff that's going on. To me, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense for Pitt and Penn State to be 2.5 hours apart and not play each other.
West Virginia, 90 minutes
West
apart.
Virginia and Pitt are, you know, that, and not, and so you like West Virginia plays in a conference with Texas and Oklahoma.
Every trip's a long trip.
But doesn't play in but isn't in a conference with Rutgers and Penn State and Pitt. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. So It is what it is.
Let's go out to Marilyn and Munho. I think she wants to talk about this topic. Marilyn, how are you?
I'm fine. I listened to you on the sports section in yesterday's news, and you were talking about Pitt and Penn State, and I thought at the end you made a comment about it's about time, that you inferred that you didn't want to see that interstate rivalry to go on. And tonight you said
no,
it would be a shame.
I never said that.
If they didn't do it. So.
Well, I think you did hear that correctly, Marilyn. I never said that. I've been a proponent of having this thing extend, long last every year, same as I do with West Virginia. I don't think you heard that correctly. In the meantime, let's go to Will in McKees Rocks. What's up, Will? How are you?
Hey, guys. How are you tonight?
We're good, thanks.
Good. Thanks for taking my call, as always. I wanted to ask you about the altercation in the Pirate Clubhouse on Monday. Being the fact that this was the third one this year, does that pretty much seal the fate for Hurdle or Huntington, or both?
Good question, Will. I think it maybe should, but I don't think it will. What do you think?
I mean, I think there's a lot of wishful thinking that's going on, but, you know, Bob, I just can't see Bob Nutting writing a check for $6 million for Hurdle to go away, or whatever it's going to take to get Huntington to go away. Those are his guys. Frank Coonley, those are his guys too. If those guys are going to get fired, it's probably going to have to come from, you know, Nutting basically cleaning house and getting rid of everybody, and I just don't see that happening.
I have less of a problem with Frank. I have more of a problem with the actual product and why it's become this way.
Well,
again, this is 8 out of 12 years that they've had losing records with this regime.
No, I understand that, but my point is, Frank Coonley, he's going to be the one that would make a decision to fire these guys.
Yeah, right.
And I just don't see that happening. I think those are his, those are his guys.
At some point they're going to have to realize what you hear and what you see is real. And unless something changes, you're going to have a hard time selling tickets on a consistent basis. And that's a shame because this is a good baseball town. But, Bob Nunny's got to open up the checkbook. I'm sorry. The valuation of this franchise continues to go higher, and it will in each and every year. He's making money based on that, but every year there's a profit. Take some of the profit, put it in the product, and let's go. You got to compete. There's no cap, there's no floor. That gives you no excuse. Or it gives you an excuse. You can say, well, I don't have to,
depending on how you look at it, yeah.
Right.
Depending on how you look at it.
All right, let's go to Rick in Elizabeth Township. Hey, Rick, what's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We're good, thanks.
Hey, Bob, when you're putting $25 million in your pocket every year, why would you? Why would you sell them?
Well, because you should. The whole reason to get involved, you would think, is because you want to win. It's a different ownership thing. It's not like you're normal. You're not owning a business that you see and go to a strip mall and some business there. And this is different.
Bob, I totally agree with you. I won't go down there and spend a nickel, and I love baseball. It's one of my first loves. But what I was calling about was the Pitt-Penn State game. Wanted to get your opinions for Pitt to win this game. Can they win this game, number one? And if they can win it, where do you see them? I see them probably on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes. Making plays. Turning the ball over. Paul, what do you think? Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, their defense is going to have to play really, really well. Their defense, I think, is pretty good. So they have a shot. They're going to have to just play really, really well and do a very, very good job of limiting Penn State's drives, and I think that's the biggest thing. To me, they're also going to have to take the ball away. If they take it away a couple of times and they're able to convert it into a point, I think they've got some chance. They got a chance, maybe.
Yeah, but they have to make, I don't think they've committed or made a turnover. They haven't forced a turnover in 2 games so far. And if you're going to, any upset starts with big plays that you don't expect, whether that's a kickoff return, a punt return, something shocking that changes everything. And unless they do that, I don't think they can line up with Penn State and beat them head-to-head. I just don't. Line 4 we go. Bob in Clearfield. What's up, Bob? How are you?
Hi, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Now, I know he said you're tired of the Antonio Brown matter, but darn
it, you mentioned him. We weren't going to mention him all game. Paul just did a radio show tonight. You never mentioned him, but go ahead.
Okay, if I'm going to be so good, thank you. But, this and some incidents may have far-reaching consequences a couple years down the road. Now, if Roger Goodell and team owners want a player conduct policy that is stringent enough, enforceable enough, and punitive enough to make reasonably certain that the teams on the field are not comprised of street thugs and gangsters, they must not be afraid of taking on a player strike that could wipe out the 2021 season. So what we may get to see is just how united the owners are. And if they're willing to back their convictions to the point that they're completely willing to accept substantial losses in order to make players and prospective players understand that he said, if you want to be in the NFL, you want to be perceived as a professional, paid as a professional, you must perform and conduct yourself as a professional.
It seems like a simple ask, doesn't it? Thanks, Bob. Well said. Paul, I thought David Stern did what he had to do better than anyone as far as commissioners. He said, this is the way it's going, and you better do it.
Right. And there was no ands, ifs, or buts. I think the thing about it is, Bob, there's always a negotiation. There's the weed thing that they're going to want. They're going to want guaranteed contracts. There's a lot of different things that, they can basically say, look, we'll give you this and this, but Roger Goodell's power remains. I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can do it without having to have a strike.
10 seconds or less. Strike or no strike?
It'll either be a strike or a lockout. Yes, there'll definitely be. Yeah, there will be some work stoppage.
Because there are a lot of weighty issues here. They're not going to be solved just that easily. We've got to take a break. More coming up right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.